Your favorite Los Angeles sports memory?
My favorite Los Angeles sports memory is Gibby's home run. Magic's junior skyhook against the Celtics would have to be right up there. Um, but Gibby's home run, where I was that moment, um, you know, uh, Freddie's home run last season was, 99.9% of that, but something about that moment with Gibby and how hurt he was and just Eckersley, that was amazing.
I think when you compare Eckersley to Rodon, and Rodon hadn't pitched in a month, and you've got Eckersley, who's one of the greatest pitchers of all time, against Gibson, who can barely walk, I understand how you could put those two in the same conversation. But to me, being a Freddie Freeman fan from when he began in the pros, I understand your point of view on both of those.
Freddie had an amazing year and he had a lot of tough setbacks and he had a really tough year. The rib that we just found out about, what he was dealing with his broken finger, obviously, everything else. But to find, if you're pretty young, but how bad Gibby was hurt. He was hurt so much that at bat was the only moment he played in the World Series. He was too hurt to play on. If he hit a ground ball, he couldn't even have run it out. You know, he swung it with one hand. He kind of flicked it with his left hand. That drama, that moment, the Dodgers were heavy underdogs against the A's. We were heavy favorites against the Yankees. I'm not saying that it wasn't a good series, but that was a team that got on the right track and we were expected to win. We were not expected to beat the A's in 88. And that was a great moment. So I don't want to spend too much time on that. That was a great moment.
Your favorite sports movie?
Not even close. Miracle. I mean, there's great sports movies and there's, Hoosiers, Sandlot, Field of Dreams. I mean, you could go down the list of so many great movies. I just went to Santa Monica the other night to watch an in-theater viewing of Heaven Can Wait, which is kind of centered around the Los Angeles Rams and Warren Beatty. Have you ever heard of the movie? Have you ever seen it or
No.
heard of it? Yeah,
I know who Warren Beatty is.
it's an amazing movie. And it was a packed house. The movie came out years ago. I mean, back in the 70s. And it was a packed house and people were cheering the credits. It was amazing. So, but Miracle, that moment for me was probably you know, maybe my favorite moment in sports. But the way they captured it, I think the performances, that moment in history, if you grew up then kind of growing up at the peak of the Cold War and coming out of really kind of the Carter years, I think it was just people's confidence. We needed something to pick us up, and that movie just nails it. I think when the athletes that were in the game watched the movie, they said the movie was so accurate, they felt like it was home movies. So I don't know. Did you ever see Miracle?
I love it. It's one of my
Yeah.
favorites.
Yeah. There's so many things I take from it. There you go. Next question.